welcome in to the All Things BMX show. Melissa filling in for Chris this evening.
I don't look like Chris, I hope.
No, the name's right. We got a great show planned for you this evening. Our good friend down in Florida where they're complaining that 32 degrees is cold. When tomorrow it's going to be negative 16 in the morning here.
Yeah.
It's going to be a good time.
Yeah, well, we're going to pretend.
Well, until then, we got a great show planned this evening for you. Geoff Armstrong's going to be joining us, and I'll tell you what, this guy's got a resume that hits harder than the first straight at Grands, and I took out a lot of people this year. And coincidentally, it was Geoff's first time at Grants, so we'll be talking about that too.
Okay.
Everything from a former guitarist from Guttermouth, which is one of the baddest punk rock bands you're going to listen to, all the way down. He worked for Fox, he worked for AMA Supercross, and now he's doing BMX with his kids. So we're going to hear everything and all the stuff in between. It's going to be a good time. If you got questions, you got stories you want to share, get them in the chat wherever you guys are. You can join us each and every week for the most part. Sometimes we take some nights off here and there, but we are on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. We kick it off right around 8 o'clock. Good thing Melissa's here. She keeps us right on time. If not, Geoff and I would have kept talking. We're coming to you live from the Ethan Clark Studios in the busy, snowed-in town of Heartland, Michigan. We're brought to you by the good people over at Motor City Harley-Davidson, where, man, they've got a cool thing going on. It is week 2, and January 17th going down. They're going to be pimping out that motorcycle. They're customizing. So you guys get down there, witness a live customization of a Harley they took right off the showroom floor. They got their master tech going at it. They're transforming a brand new Harley just into this one-of-a-kind, just bad-to-the-bone machine.
That's cool.
I can't get like West
what
Coast
you watch,
customs.
I don't get it.
I don't know. Stand there while they're working on it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. DVS is filling in for Melissa tonight. He's just hanging out back there, getting more crowded. Got the boys' jersey on from Australia back there.
It's kind of crazy how busy that gets.
It does. If you look over our shoulder, look at all this.
Yeah, it's a little chaotic.
it's very busy, very busy. And Melissa, sitting up here. How's things been? How's it going? 2 shows in a row, by the way.
Yeah. I feel bad about that. Almost didn't have me tonight, but it's been a very long week. I will say that. Work has been quite rough, but we're for all of us, but we're making it through, and this is something I look forward to, so I'm glad to be here.
Well, thanks for joining. And we have big news.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good reason why Chris isn't here anyways.
That's right. We have
he made a smart choice.
He did. We got a big birthday for Shelly. That is Chris's wife. Happy birthday, Shelly, and congratulations on your 31st birthday. Before it gets too crowded in staging, we got to give some shout outs to the people that support the show. So when you guys are doing your BMX shopping, make sure you guys head on over and check these companies out. They support us, and if we could, we'd have you support them. And go buy stuff from them, please. Right.
Yeah, so first we want to shout out Dye Job Apparel. So when it comes to showcasing your identity, whether it's your team, brand, or business, the right apparel can make all the difference. Dye Job Apparel makes the process effortless, helping bring your ideas to life with high-quality, custom-designed clothing, merchandise, and marketing material. Ready to create something unique? Contact Dye Job Apparel today and turn your vision into reality.
We got our good friends over at Krupp & Carter. Got one of their shirts on this evening. They're the official brand of BMX. Brought to you by BMXers for BMXer. Their aim is to be the next big box store at the mall. So make sure you guys support them. Head on over to their website. Check them out. They're constantly dropping new stuff. And for those of you still in the warmer states, they got new shorts coming out. So get over there and check them out.
No shorts around here.
No.
All right. Huge thank you to Anthony Morris at Morris Digital Media for being so patient and helping us get our website tuned up. Hit him up if you want a professional website build. He's your guy.
He's super patient because I am so slow at getting stuff over to him. So thank you, Anthony. We appreciate it. And our good friends over at Spark BMX Training. Listen up. If you guys are ready to level up your racing, ready to level up your gate start, whatever it is, whatever you want to improve. Doesn't even have to quite necessarily be BMX. You're just looking for a workout routine, something to help you out this season. Get over to Spark BMX Training. They're going to help you out, get you all going. They got world-class coaching. We've had them on the show. Jake's been on the show actually twice. Go back, check out the episodes. There's nothing, no guesswork needed, man. He'll take care of you guys. He can send you some videos, do some intake for him, take some videos of yourself. He analyzes everything, get you on a plan, get you going, get you winning races. That's Spark BMX Training.
Sorry, totally distracted. Also, huge thank you and shout out to Gate 9 Design for the absolute best number plates, carbon rims, and soon to be carbon frames. Gate 9 is the only company you need to contact for your number plate needs.
Our good friends at On Two Wheels. I got an email from them yesterday.
Oh,
pretty
really?
Exciting.
Wow.
Should have emailed me.
Yeah, we haven't been in touch lately.
You know how he is. That stuff came through all coded and everything.
Oh, I'm sure.
You know, he works. And,
Did he have to send you the cipher separately, like in a text
it was
message?
different, yeah.
Shout out to the Hack Shack.
Our good friends over at Wrenchman Wheel Builds.
Also want to include DB Sports World. They are a huge supporter. We appreciate all of you guys.
Absolutely. All the links for the people that support our show can be found in the show notes. So if you're looking for them, somebody we mentioned, you can find them there. And the show's chat is sponsored by our good friends over at BMX Rocks Photography. They bring it to you each and every time we do a show here. We got a good one for you. I'm excited to hear Melissa's answer.
Melissa doesn't have an answer.
And if you guys haven't noticed, it's already posted to the socials. What is your favorite punk rock band? Do I have one?
No.
No? Okay. Well,
I don't even know if I could name 5,
I bet you could.
let alone whittle it down to 1.
I made you listen to
I definitely don't have a favorite. Oh, what? I can't even think of the name right now. I can't think of the name right now.
It's not the Doobie Brothers.
No. What?
I don't know.
No.
I want to know
It'll
what
come back to my
Mike
brain.
Miranda's favorite punk band is. That'll be a good one. He's in the chat. Let's ask our guest.
Yes. Please.
Geoff, what's your favorite punk band?
Yes. I would say, like, I'm going back to like my younger days, but I would say the Descendants are probably my favorite all time.
Good one.
Yeah. I mean, as you get older, I still love them, but that's probably the one I would go back to. There's a lot of bands I love though. So that would be my pick. Yeah. All time. That would be it.
Let's watch a documentary on them. I think it was over.
Did you watch that? It's good.
Yeah.
Right?
It's very good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of long, but like it flew right by. They did a really good job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was cool to see that because there's a lot of history with that band, and they broke up before they ever got big, and then when they came back is when it kind of everything blew off, right?
Yeah.
So.
What's yours?
No FX.
No effects. That's a good one too.
I thought that was a television station.
No.
That's just FX, not no FX.
they're-
Oh,
FX.
okay. Just checking.
It was the first album I bought of them had the sheep on it. I
Oh,
remember
the heavy petting zoo.
the
or
heavy
whatever
petting
it's
zoo album.
Oh, is the
And my dad picked that up. He's like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah,
Like,
the cover was pretty bad on that.
They had to make two of them.
I think, yeah, there was two. The
Yeah.
original one was really bad. And then
Real bad.
They made it.
wasn't there? Did we used to
PG, I
listen to
guess.
CK? Are they
CKY.
are they considered
CKY.
punk?
Yeah, I
Okay, that's probably I'm more familiar. I don't know if I would say favorite, but
Mhm.
okay. Well, good. Now I feel included.
I still
Thanks.
listen to them.
Yeah, comes up every once in a while.
Hey, thanks for letting me know about the picture. That's I had to refresh restream.
Oh yeah,
That's
so
what
it's all
happened. Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you, Chase.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Things like that happen.
It does. I got home like 50 minutes ago. It was pretty quick.
It wasn't right. It wasn't
Yeah.
here
Well-
much before you.
Welcome to the show, Geoff. We appreciate you taking
Thank
time
you.
out and joining us.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be fun.
Yeah. So tell us, how did you find the sport of BMX racing?
So like most kids of my era, I'm in my 50s now, but we just rode bikes around the neighborhood when we were kids. Our parents pretty much let us run wild. So we had a pack of kids where I lived. I lived in South Florida at the time in Pompano Beach area. And one of my, so there was two people that lived near me that raced. There was a 16-year-old expert guy who kind of let me tag along with them. And I was probably 7 or 8 years old. So it's kind of surprising my parents were okay with that. But we used to ride around the neighborhood. And then I became friends with another kid, Kevin, down the road. And him and his brother raced. And one day his dad invited me to go to, it was in Coral Springs, Florida, down in South Florida. There was a track there. And he was like, "Hey, you want to come watch the boys race?" So I jumped in the car with them and we got there and I'd never seen anything like it. It was, we're talking probably 1981 maybe or somewhere in there. And they're over there by the car getting ready, and he was like, "You're racing tonight," and I'm like, "No, no, no, no." And he's like, "No, you're going to use his older brother's bike, and you're going to race." So I kind of got forced into a race. The only thing that's, going back then, we rode bikes so much and jumped already. It wasn't like, it wasn't like I'd never been on a BMX bike or jump stuff. So I kind of, kind of probably rode well enough to be able to get around the track. And so against my will, I was forced to race. I think I was 7 or 8 years old maybe. And yeah, did the race, got like a participation trophy or whatever it is. And that was that. And then, he dropped me off and told my parents that I raced. And, next thing I know, I was telling them I wanted a race bike and all that. And it kind of started from there. And then I only raced for probably maybe about 8 months or so, maybe a year, if I remember right. It's hard to remember because I was so little, but we moved and there was no track. And I did have a race bike. I had an old Mongoose. And my dad was like, if you ride your bike around the neighborhood and trash it, you're not going to, that's the way it is. I'm not buying you a new bike. And I let it get a little bit out of shape. And we moved back to where we lived because we had a different house being built. And my bike was pretty clapped out, and I just never recovered from there. And that was kind of my short-lived BMX, racing as a youth. I did probably about a year, maybe something like that. And I think there was a national at that track that I raced as a novice. And there's a old giant concert hall in down towards Miami called Hollywood. It was called the Hollywood Sportatorium, which is gone now. And they had an indoor cement race there and wooden tabletop jumps and all that. And I remember racing that one too. But, we packed it in for a year, but that was kind of it. And I started skateboarding and surfing and kind of just went the other direction for a long time. So, yeah.
Wow.
When did you find your way back into racing?
So I rode motocross, as a teenager and stuff. I didn't really get into racing hardcore. Like I'd race here and there, but I just rode a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So I've got a background in that. And then I also rode mountain bikes for a while. I got there where I used to live at, there was a really nice mountain bike setup. So I did some state races with that. Never got super serious, just did it because it was fun. I've always liked being on bikes. So through the years, I kind of stayed on motorcycles and mountain bikes and stuff. And then to get back to BMX, I guess it's going on 2 years now. My daughter was 6, I guess. And she was kind of looking for a sport, just something different. I was like, you know what, let's go I asked her about BMX, and she had just started riding bicycles. So it was kind of, I wasn't sure I was going to go. And I took her to Daytona, and Kevin, who's the coach there, Kevin Cacavalli, everybody here in Florida knows him as Coach Kevin, but he does like a Tuesday night entry level beginner type thing. And he helped her. He pushed her around the track because she couldn't get over all the jumps. And I didn't think she was going to like it. And she fell in love with it from there. So she was on her bike racing for about 6 months. And of course I had the urge, but I'm like, I don't want to take away from her stuff. And I kind of have this thing where I don't want to be that dad that's like, my stuff's more important than yours.
Right,
so
right.
I kind of was just hanging at the track, and I did want to ride. And then I was like, you know what, I'm going to buy a 24-inch and just roll the track when she's practicing. I had no intentions of racing. And then December of last year, well, actually 2024, we were at the track for a race, and I would just practice before the races and just have fun. And she's like, Daddy, just do the race. I was like, I don't know. I don't really want to race. And then she talked me into doing it, did okay, did better than I probably thought I was going to. And then a month later, we went down to Okehili for a state race of hers because she started the state series like 4 months after she started racing.
Oh, wow.
And we went to West Palm and Okehili, and she brought my bike to just ride at Okehili, and she was like, you're going to race. And I'm like, no, I'm not. And she talked me into doing it, and I raced, and I think I got 3rd and 4th over the weekend in novice class. And that was it. Like I said, I never wanted to, I don't want to overshadow her stuff and make my stuff. So I was always very cautious with it, but she was the one that's like, no, we're doing it together. And, she's 8 now. So, she's all in. She's completely in love with the sport. So, it's kind of how it got back into it, I guess, if you will.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah, it's been a great time.
So it's really only been like a year and a half-ish?
Yeah, for me, about a year and a couple months probably. Okay. But like I said, I'd ridden motor, you know what I mean? Like, I don't really consider like, oh, I just jumped in from like, there's guys that are jumping in at 50 years old, and I'm like, I give them credit because they're learning. I already knew how to ride a little bit from other stuff. So,
you've been on 2 wheels of some fashion for majority of your life, it sounds like.
But in all
Yeah.
fairness, when I did race when I was a kid, the tracks were dirt and you had like the bear claw pedals and it was a completely different
Oh
world. When the
yeah.
first time I took her to the track and I saw that they used the slurry, I was like, oh, this is like concrete. I had
Yeah.
no idea that's what they're racing on. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a different world, definitely.
Yeah.
Are you riding on a team now?
Yeah. So my daughter she wrote for Coach Kevin. He had a team called Fox Hunt, and they were just like one of those teams. She was 2 months into it. He's like, she can be a part of the team. And then unfortunately last year, at the end of the year, they decided to call the team quits. He'd been running for a long time and it was taken away from his coaching, I think.
Oh,
So
yeah.
long story short, we became friendly with PKS bicycles and Paula Morera and Renato Silva rides for them. And they're all in Orlando, and the company's from Brazil. And they've been helping Iris, my daughter's Iris, the 8-year-old. They've been helping her a little bit at the track and super friendly. So, I talked to them a couple times and interested. She was moving up on a bike anyway. And, he was like at the state final, he's like, come talk to us. I don't know if we have room on the team, but, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
So at the state final was the last race for her other team. That's like their grand finale. They're calling it quits. And the owner of PKS, his name's Reginaldo. He lives in Brazil. He doesn't even speak English pretty much. And because of some other friends we have, my daughter knows very, very few words in Portuguese.
Oh.
And he comes up, and Paulo speaks English. He's speaking to Reginaldo, kind of translating, and he's like, oh, she wants to ride for the team, blah, blah, blah. And my daughter comes up and she's like, bom dia, which is good morning in Portuguese. And he was like, what? And he's like shocked. And like within 5 minutes, he's like, she's on the team. I don't even care. So just because she knew like some phrases, and, he was impressed that a little 7-year-old or 8-year-old American girl knew that. And, we've got some Brazilian friends in some other circles. So that's how she knew that. And she actually is studying Portuguese for school right now, partially because of our team, like just to broaden her horizons. But so when she jumped on, we went to his house, and he got her all dialed with everything. And he's like, you want to ride for us too? I was going for her. I had no intentions of, I was just going to wear my regular stuff. And he's like, no, you've been racing good. So, it's a family thing. So we're both on PKS bicycles. So yeah, they're super mellow people. I can't even say enough about how they've treated my daughter. Like they treat her like gold. And that's the important thing of it all. Like they came on and I was like, look, she's about to turn intermediate. It's all good. We're not putting any pressure on winning, just having a good time. We want a good family atmosphere on the team. If she does good, great. If she doesn't, it's racing, So I didn't want to go to a team that was a bunch of aggro parents and, craziness and all that stuff. So we've got the whole crew, all the families that race for the team. Like we've got a great, great group of people. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Huge piece.
I have followed Paulo around like since we started doing the nationals. The dude is so fast.
Mm-hmm.
You're used to seeing the tail end.
Oh yeah, he just like bye.
Yeah, unfortunately I've had to race him a few times, and it's not fun. I mean, my goal is just to keep him in sight, but him and Renato both are insanely good riders, and I mean they don't even look their age. You know what I mean? They're just so fast.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yeah, so, and it's good. It's good because it helps. They're very, very hands-on with my daughter, helping her as well. So it's cool to have people like that, guiding her and helping her get better and stuff.
Well, that's huge. She's only going to grow from there. That's great.
Yeah, I agree.
So do they have a frame that you guys ride, or
do you? Yeah, so she's on it. She just moved up to a junior. It's still probably a little on the big side for her, but it's just like a standard frame. And then the frame I ride is called a Supreme, and it almost looks like the old GT frames. It's got kind of a curve on the bottom tube, but I rode when I didn't really know what I wanted, when I got it. And Paulo's similar size to me, so I tried his bike a few times, and I was like, just set me up with the setup you have, And then they got a new model called a Rocket that's being released right now. It's going to be more of like a expert pro level bike.
I like that purple.
I'm bummed that they don't have that's actually the color frame my daughter rides right there, the purple.
That's amazing.
Yeah, she's got a beautiful bike. It's like purple frame, rainbow spokes.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's pretty sick. A lot of people ask her about it.
Yeah, a little envy there. Yeah.
But Paulo is basically the, PKS America. He's based out of Orlando, and he's running the whole thing. And we've only been on the team since maybe May or June. And it's been, and I'm not just saying this because it's been insane to see how quickly they're growing. Like in Florida, obviously other parts of the country they haven't probably branched into, but in Florida, like when I first started seeing them at the beginning of the state season last year, you would see those guys on and a few others, and now there's just a lot of people on them. So it's really cool to be a part of this like organic growing, and they're doing it the right way. They're not going out and hiring a bunch of high level pros. They're just supporting other teams, and I think that's more my style of things, is growing it naturally and not just signing the best guy for a lot of money to try to force,
Right.
because they're not, so I don't know. It's just a really good environment, and the bikes, I mean, I've been riding again for a very short time, but the bike has done me well for sure. Like I can't complain.
Well, yeah, you talk about the
So-
grassroots approach
That's the way to do
to BMX and how successful that typically is. So kind of
Yeah.
similar to what you're talking about.
They're just super friendly people, and that has a lot. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like there's certain people, and I've been back in the sport for a very short time, but there's certain people that are standoffish, and those guys are just so humble with how good they are. And people come up, borrow tools from us that don't ride for the. It's just one of those things. And I mean, the BMX community seems to be that way in general, most of them, but it's it's very cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Scotty Ware rode PKS last season.
Oh,
rode,
no kidding.
Rode for the team in that. Yeah.
Is he what's his is he what is his Instagram?
I don't.
It's Way or something.
Yeah, Wire.
Scotty. Yeah, him and I are actually connected on Instagram.
Yeah. He raved about him.
Was that the maroon? That's the maroon color uniform, right?
Yeah,
Or
the maroon,
burgundy.
and then,
Yeah.
yeah, they've got the
Okay.
burgundy, and then they have a blue and orange setup too, kind of like Florida Gators colors.
I feel like there was
So-
somebody else up here that was riding that.
There is.
color.
I can't, and I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I don't remember the name either.
Right now. They got a good
Shoot.
foothold up here in Michigan too.
Yeah. Now,
They
now
are
I'm putting that all together.
Solid
Yeah.
frames.
Yeah. Yeah, they look great. Lots of choices. Go check them out. Okay, good. All right. So sounds like you've traveled a little bit around Florida as far as racing and things like that. You guys are doing their humongous state series.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
do we have a favorite track in Florida?
I mean, I love Daytona because that's our home,
Sure.
but I would say probably my favorite, two of my favorite tracks outside of my own track. Orlando is really good for training. I like Orlando, but I would say Oldsmar I like a lot. I love the Supercross style, the hills,
Mhm.
the big hills. And then we went to the Gold Cup final. It's not in Florida, but Circle City BMX in Dothan, Alabama is a really cool track. It winds around on itself and it crosses itself, so you can't drop the gate till the groups pass. But really cool layout, and the track's really fun. Like a lot of it's got like a ski jump. The start goes into this like single ski jump, which is pretty sketchy, a lot of crashes, but then it goes into a double and then it loops around. But that's one of my favorite tracks, honestly. The layout's pretty cool, pretty insane, I think.
Awesome.
Yeah, they had that pro race there 2 seasons ago, I think. Maybe someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but that was fun to watch. Watch them on that track. Cause
it's a unique track. It's just it's neat. It's got some different stuff on it.
Yeah, Oldsmar's a nice facility right there. Yeah, that's nice.
Awesome. So let's talk Grands. This was your first time going?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
What'd you think? Well, did you come up home with the Grands flu or COVID, otherwise known as
I did.
COVID?
I got it the second. So, everybody joked with me that it's been like, oh, the Tulsa flu and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I work in emergency department at the hospital. I'm a nurse now, an RN. So I'm around that stuff all the time. So to me, I'm like, yeah, whatever,
Yeah, you're
and
like,
people are like,
sure.
you're gonna get the Tulsa flu. So Saturday night at Grands, I was already like congested from all the dirt, I think, and stuff, just the racing and this in the dirt. And Saturday night I started getting a little bit of nose drip and just felt a little bit off. And then Sunday I started really feeling it about halfway through the day. Nothing bad, like I didn't have the chills or fever, but it was just all sinusy, and just from being tired and all that. But yeah, I got the Tulsa flu, and my daughter, we flew home Monday morning, and I think Monday night she came down with it, and we had the sinus crap for 4 days or 3 days, whatever it was. It sucked.
It's,
But,
it's hard to avoid.
Yeah, everybody I know that was there pretty much had it. Like our whole team ended up having it that week. Luckily, it was the week we went home and not so much during.
Sure. It didn't affect performance.
But yeah, I was blowing my nose like before at Grands, like I think one of my quarters or semis or something. I was in the bathroom trying to blow everything out of my nose, so I wasn't nose dripping in the
You
gate.
like neti pots and everybody's.
Yeah,
Did the PKS team have a spot there, or was it? Yeah.
we
Okay,
had
that's
Yep,
nice.
we had a spot, so
Little team
it was a lot
tent.
of fun. Yep, yeah, we had a little area. We had a foosball table for the kids and bean bags, and we had a TV screen. Yeah, it was on the other end of the track, so it was kind of in the more, I don't say quiet because there's the scooter kids are everywhere in our corner because it was open,
Oh, fair.
raising hell.
I can
Yeah, but
I can picture where you were then.
yeah, it was in the back, but it was yeah, we had a tent area. It was cool. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We had a
Nice.
blast.
That's nice. And
Yeah.
how did you do? Happy with
Um,
your performance?
yeah, I'm actually really happy. I'll go with my
And
daughter
yeah,
first.
Iris, please. Yeah.
So she when she qualified for 7 because of her age and her birthday. For rock, she was 7 novice, and for grands 8 intermediate. And she had just gone to intermediate like a month before, and
Oh,
I'm having her
wow.
race the boys in intermediate instead of going to girl expert right now. So we kind of went there both with like, let's just experience it, have fun, no expectations.
Yeah.
She ended up making the main for rock for 7 novice, which
Wow.
you
Good
know
for
to me
her.
was super proud. And the heartbreaker is in her main, she got kind of a not a great start, and she was mid pack, and we had this little line figured out on the backside of the track that we were using, and she took that and she passed a couple people. Going into the second to last turn, she was in second.
Oh,
And
okay.
as a father, I'm like, her first rock, and she's even though it's novice, I'm
Oh,
like, she's in
it's,
second. The
yeah.
last turn, for some reason, and she had a lot of space, she went really low, and there wasn't even
Mm.
anybody near her, and she slid out and she hit her head actually really hard,
Oh, poor
and she blacked her
baby.
eye and she had cuts on her chin,
Oh
but she hit the
my
ground pretty hard because her
gosh.
bike like
Mm-hmm.
slid out and she just went face first in the ground, and there was nobody really close behind her, so I don't know why she thought she had to go super low and aggressive, but she did. But it's one of those things where I saw her in the second last turn, and I'm like, crap, she's in second. I was super excited. I'm running past people with my camera, and all of a sudden the kid in first goes by, and then she's not there, and I'm like, whoa, what happened? And then when I watched the replay, but so she made the main for that. She ended up 7th, I think, because she got up and still one other kid crashed, so she still got ahead of him, I guess.
Oh, good for her.
It was very emotional to say the least. And then in 8 intermediate, she didn't make it that far. It was just she was brand new to intermediate, and
Those are big
it's a handful.
classes.
Yeah.
That's a
So
lot to handle
and
there.
then myself, I actually won rock, which I
Oh,
was
congrats, man.
shocked
Wow.
in my age group in intermediate, which blew me away because I didn't go there with any. My goal is like if I could even make a main, that would be amazing. So
Well, maybe
um,
that's the trick.
yeah, I don't know. Well, what? Honestly, what's crazy is so when she crashed, she comes across the finish line, she's crying, she's got a black eye, she's bleeding from her chin, her face hit the ground pretty hard, and somebody came up to me, they're like, she hit the ground pretty hard, her head. So I'm like, let's go back to the tent. I had to race in like, she's maybe 40 minutes later or so,
Yeah.
something like that. And I already had my stuff in staging because I didn't have enough time to go back and forth. So I'm walking, I'm like, let's just go back to the tent. I'm like, I'm not going to race. Like, because I was like, does she need to go? It
Well,
was pretty bad. Like,
sure.
Right.
Yeah.
so I'm in dad mode, and she's like, no, you got to race. I'm like, no, let's go back to the tent. We'll figure it out. And she stopped and she's like, I'm fine. I'm going back to the tent. You got to race. So I was like, all right, she's good, I guess. And then we had a friend of ours
Wow.
was there, took her back. So it's funny because I went up the whole time I was in staging, I was so preoccupied with her, worried about her.
Uh-huh.
I wasn't even thinking about nerves. And
Nope.
I feel like that was the winning
Yeah,
formula
it might have been.
my
Oh,
brain
yeah.
was so distracted, even in the gate. I'm like, and in the rock, there was like that last turn, there was a crash almost every main because the dirt was just really bad. And so it's just delay after delay. And the whole time I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I got to get back to the 10. I got to get back to, that was my
Oh.
brain. And I got in the gate and everything went perfect. Like I got a good start, got out ahead in the first turn, and that was it, and it's funny because, you pull off and they're like, we're gonna get a picture. And I'm just like, I didn't even celebrate. I just hauled ass back to the tent to make
Like,
sure
I
she
got a
was,
kid to
it was
check
like,
on.
yeah, like I threw my stuff aside and just went. And then,
Oh, dad
but
mode's hard.
it was amazing. It was amazing. Even by late that night is when I was like, holy crap, I won.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it hadn't even set in because I was debating whether to take her to the emergency department to get her checked for a
Right.
concussion or whatever.
Oh.
And then in grands, I made the main, which I was very happy about. And I ended up 5th, and I got a horrible start. And I feel like I could have been top 3 speed
Okay.
wise, but
Sure.
got a bad start. And I ended up getting pinched in a couple parts, and I actually crashed at the very end. So, and I ended up 5th. So it is what it is. But overall, I can't complain. I would have called a successful trip if I wouldn't have made one race. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
because we went and
And she
hung out
clearly
together
turned
and
out to
stuff.
be okay.
Yeah. The next morning, I wasn't sure how she was gonna be with,
Yeah,
because Friday night happened, and then
sure.
she got up in the morning. I didn't put any pressure on. I'm not a pressure parent. I'm like, it's up to you. This is your love. When you tell me you want to quit this sport, we're done. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna
Yeah.
force her. And she got up, she's like, Daddy, I want to race. So I know she didn't race as hard as she normally would. I could see
Right.
she was a little bit timid, but I was proud of her for going right back out the next
Yeah.
morning
That
and going, So
that's a big deal to overcome nerves like that,
yeah.
to
And
conquer that.
yeah. And it's hard because trusting, she'd never raced on dirt before. So trusting the turn after that happened, I was like, just stay higher. Don't go low no matter what.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a pat, just stay up higher than that. But
Yeah.
they must have fixed it because the next day people were going low in that turn and they were fine.
And it
They
was
must
good.
have worked on it that night because of all the crashes. So on Friday night,
Wow. Gosh, and she's 8,
she just
9.
turned 8 in September.
Oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
gosh. A tough little cookie.
But and she's having a rough go this season because she moves up in age in September right before our state season starts. So she
Oh.
literally the end of September was like went from 7 novice to 8 intermediate in September. So she went up in age and skill. So she's the first, we've only done two stops so far. We missed Sarasota, but she made mains for mixed open in her age group, but she hasn't made a main yet in intermediate. She's been close.
Mm,
She's missed it by one spot, but
yeah.
right there. But I told her, I'm like, I prepared her. I'm like, this year is going to be a
It's a
transition year,
transition,
and
yeah, right.
yeah, so we're not, she puts pressure on herself, but
Mm.
I don't care. I
To
shouldn't say I
be
don't care. I'm okay with it,
But to
so.
be self-motivated like that,
Mhm.
yeah, clearly you don't want so much pressure that it's, causing her mental harm, but
No.
for her to just no, to be challenging herself that young, that's pretty impressive. You said that
Yeah.
you're having her race the boys?
Yeah. So
Okay.
a lot of, like I said, I'm new with, especially with the younger stuff. We've only been doing this for 2 years with her, but a lot of people when she was done with novice, like put her right into girl expert. She'll race 4 or 5 girls. And one of the things that makes her nervous is getting in, 8 in the gate,
Yeah,
these
the
tight turns when
pack
everybody's
riding.
packed
Yep.
in.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the things that she's been working on. And I'm like, you're never going to get that. If you go to girl expert, you're going to have, 5, maybe 6 in the state series. But I feel like I want her mixing up with the boys and getting more gritty.
I
And
love it. I
then,
think that's great.
and I told her, and I come from some action sports background, like as a team manager, I'm like, I'm not really racing her, right? Like she, her dream, she wants to be in the Olympics or
Oh,
BMX
sure.
if you ask her.
Good for her.
But I'm not like worried about results now. I'm thinking more like if she sticks to the sport, like what's going to help her long term.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So I told her, I'm like, if you want to do this, I'll put you an expert if you want, or intermediate. And she's like, let's do intermediate for at least this season and see how it goes. And it's definitely helping her. I'm watching her improve, trying to
Oh,
keep up with the
yeah.
boys. And there's 1 or 2 other girls in intermediate, and that's it. And the rest of them are in, girl expert. So, she's not getting the results. Maybe at the end of the year, she's not going to have a number 4 expert plate, but who cares? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
the experience she's getting out of it is
yeah.
way more superior,
I
I think.
agree.
So
Mm-hmm.
I could definitely see
that's
that.
kind of the plan we have. So
I like it.
What you got? What'd she think of Naples?
her or me?
Her, then you.
She 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 didn't like it. She didn't like the tight turns, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because the boys are pretty aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
She did okay there, but I think she prefers she actually likes like the Oldsmar style tracks with the big drops and stuff like that, the
Okay.
big hills. By the end of the weekend, she liked it, but when we first got there, she didn't like it. She was nervous. She gets nervous when, it gets tight. And it's definitely, I mean, it's weird to me. What I didn't realize is the second turn there, if you ride the inside line, you actually come into the middle of the turn and not,
Yeah.
like it's a weird angle
It
there.
is.
And I made a big mistake in my first race there and, had a near miss because of that. I didn't realize how the angle that you almost have to go a little bit wide right before the turn to, but yeah, for me, I feel like it's a super fun track to ride, but we actually had in my group, we had 12 guys or something, or
Damn.
no, we had 10 guys.
Okay.
So there was 2 races. So
Mhm.
those weren't bad, but the main with, 8 of us was definitely tight in some of the turns. The main on the second day was like, there was a lot going on and it didn't hit the ground, but those guys were going for it, man. Pretty gnarly. So.
Yeah, that one's I think we were messing each other. That when you
Yeah.
just get out, get over, and get going.
No,
You gotta
yeah,
go.
I mean, I try to embrace all the tracks. You know what I mean? It was a little, it was one of those things where some of the guys in my class dress like linebackers, and they
I got
they
you.
ride like linebackers.
Yep.
And the goal is to not get, not have to. You want to get in front of them, obviously, but yeah, there's some fast guys in my group this year. It's pretty crazy how fast a couple of the guys are in there. So
I always enjoy going there. The group there is fun.
yeah,
It's a fun change, and
it's a beautiful track. It really
is.
is. I like the track. It's a little hectic.
Yep. Yeah. It will test your bike skills for sure.
Oh, absolutely.
And especially like with all the huge, you got like the Sarasotas, the Oldsmars, then you have this one fit in, and like DL. I know DL would go down there and do a lot of grands training because the hill ends up a lot of times like they put in. So fun time there, and like I dig that they put the LED lights under the gate, make it all fun there before.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun there. Yeah, and they keep that track tip top too. It's what I mean. Like to me, it was beautiful. I think I like some of the bigger tracks because I have good endurance. Mm-hmm. So even if I get a bad start, I can usually get, what I mean? Like I can usually catch somebody if they're, I think that's one of my stronger points. So there it's like, it's basically the races to the first turn. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think I did one pass after the first turn and that was it the whole weekend. So
where the hell did you squeeze that in?
I did it in the third straight in the rhythm section.
Okay.
I got right on somebody's wheel and I just dove a little under him and I was just able to get through it quicker and cut him at the turn. But it was still sketchy. it was just one of those things that was, I just went for it. But I was pretty careful all weekend, to be honest, more than maybe normal. So,
well, you've worn a lot of hats, racer, surfer, skateboarder. You mentioned earlier you were a team manager. You've done media. You've done music. Like which one you want to start with? Because I kind of dig.
A lot of it was kind of coexisting.
Was it? Okay.
Because like the band, I was juggling a lot of things for many years, and like I kind of came up in the surf industry. I surfed competitively when I was younger, and had sponsors and all that, and that's how I ended up becoming a team manager in that world.
Okay.
And then when Fox Racing decided to go into surfing, and I was a huge fan of Fox from the motocross and all that stuff, and a guy that I'd worked with in the past for one of the companies, he's like, hey, this is like 2004 maybe or 2005. And he was like, Fox is about to launch a huge surf program. Do you want in? And I was like, of course, you know what I mean? So that was kind of how I ended up that, but I was playing music then as well. It wasn't a full-time position like in the office. It was more like you do X amount of trips a year with the guys and handle all this and that, you know what I mean? So I kind of juggled a lot of things at once. It looks like more than I did probably because it kind of coexisted. I mean, I was gone a lot. I was traveling a lot between everything, but that's kind of how I did it all,
Wow.
So the Fox thing and then the energy drink thing came about because one of the kids I sponsored from Fox, his father was in the beverage industry and they brought me in on the ground level to start a drink. So I had my hands in that. Just, I don't know. I just was very motivated, and just kind of like, I felt like a ping pong ball at times, just kind of like the one door closes, two doors open, and I was just very lucky to just, navigate through it all, I guess. And,
wow.
So
for those that don't know, what were the bands you've been part of?
I was in a band called The New Threat for a long time from 2005, and we were on a smaller record label and toured and stuff. And then we ended up doing a couple tours at Guttermouth, US and Canada. And that's how I ended up in Guttermouth. They had somebody leave the band and asked if I wanted to fill in for a tour, and I filled in and then ended up leaving. The other band was mine and another guy, Adam. So I kind of just was like, we're going to go on a hiatus and I'm going to go with them because the money was better and it was more of a set schedule. Mm-hmm. It was kind of nice because with the other band I was in, I was like the guy behind. Adam and I were the two behind the scenes, like setting up the tours and all this stuff. And it's pretty time consuming, where Guttermouth was like, hey, here's the dates. This is what you're getting paid. And everything we had a booking agent, we had the media stuff and all that. So it was kind of easy. It was just like, just jump in and go. So that took a lot off my plate, and it allowed me to be more involved with other stuff business wise. You know what I mean? So, and everything I did, everybody was pretty, when we had the energy drink and the other stuff, the rules were like, as long as you get your job done, we don't care where you are or what you're doing. So I'd play in the band, and when everybody's sleeping until 11 in the morning, I was getting up at 7, 8 in the morning on the computer, doing work and calling people. And I was burning it on both ends for a long time, but I've met some really great people through the years and different industries. And, it's been really cool. You know what I mean? So even now BMX, and there's a few people here in the state that I knew from back then. I wasn't a racer then, but just business stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And now I'm seeing them at the races. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool just to run full circle and stuff like that. So
What instrument?
yeah. Guitar.
Okay.
I play bass too. After I was out of Guttermouth, I filled in for some tour stuff for a band called the Queers, which is a really old. They're a really legendary band, which I was a huge fan of them before, but we had toured with them a bunch of times, and the drummer I've known for 20 years, and they lost somebody, and after I was out of Guttermouth, Guttermouth thing fell apart, and it didn't fall apart. I was having a child, didn't want to tour, and just my interests were going in a different direction. I was back in school doing some stuff, but so about, I don't know, 8 months after I left Guttermouth, that other band was like, hey, we have some fill-in stuff if you want to do it. And so I jumped in for some stuff just to do it, you know what I mean? But that was playing bass for them, had a good time. But it was weird because Guttermouth was kind of known as a party band, a lot of drinking. And the Queers, the other two, Joe and Alex, were sober. You know what I mean? It was kind of like when you came in, they're like,
different
hey,
world, yeah.
And they had been on tour with us, when we were drinking, I don't even drink hardly at all anymore, but they knew us from a different state. So like, hey, just, I'm like, no, I'm not, I'm good.
Just so you know.
But what's funny though, is this is going to sound crazy, but when I played with the Queers, that was probably the first tour that I was completely sober at some of the, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying I was drunk all the time, but even having a beer to just relax. I don't like being on stage, you know what I mean? So so it's kind of like that was my loosen up type thing, but it was definitely weird, doing a tour completely without drinking and stuff.
I bet.
It sounds horrible, but it's true.
No. I mean, we only know what is the, known as the rock star lifestyle or whatever, but I can imagine that would be very different.
Yeah, Guttermouth was the rock star life for sure. It was a lot of drinking. And, one thing I'll say is we laughed nonstop. Like the first few years I was in, the group we had then, because the lineup changes here and there, but we had a good group, and it was just comedy nonstop. You just felt like you're with your best friends traveling the world.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And getting paid for it. You know what I mean? So it's memory stuff that I'll never, I'll carry with me to the grave. That are pretty funny.
Yeah.
But
are you a songwriter as far as did you have that creative license with them or?
Yeah, we did. I did 2 releases. Well, 3. I did 2 releases that we wrote stuff. And then we did a live record that I'm officially on, if you will, and get royalties. Not much, because the music industry is horrible now with stuff. I mean, now music's more now like a marketing tool versus the old days when you sold albums and made money.
Yeah.
But we had the singer, he's been with the band since day one, Mark. He had no intentions of writing stuff, and we had a record label come in and offer us some money, and the band needed to kind of get a new, something to talk about, I guess.
Yeah.
Excuse me. So it was funny because I was living in California at the time, and nailing him down, he would literally I was staying down south of him, and we would use the train because it's easier to take the train along the coast. And there was many times where he'd literally be like, hey, I'm getting on the train. You and Justin come pick me up at the Encinitas or, somewhere down there train station. And he's like, I'm getting on the train now. I'll see you in 40 minutes. And we would be sitting at the train station, train would pull up. Mark doesn't get off the train, texting him. He just took the train to Tijuana. He's gone for 4 days. Getting him to write songs was painful. And yeah, it was horrible. It probably took us a year or two of making him do stuff to finally get it done. And then finally I got him, Justin in that band is the main creative guy, that he plays drums, but he plays every instrument, records.
Gotcha.
So he's kind of the mastermind behind everything. And finally I brought them out here to Florida for 2 weeks. And at the time I had a roommate. It was before I was with my wife. Now this is 15 years ago, maybe. And they just came in. My roommate was out of town, and they just stayed for 2 weeks, and we just wrote stuff and, just spent 2 weeks doing that. And we got a lot done. So it worked out. So yeah, so I'm on 2 releases, and then, we did a live album right after that.
Wow.
And then that's the last stuff they put out. So.
Oh my goodness. So do you still play? Are you dabbling now?
Behind me, I don't know, you probably can't see it, but there's actually a bunch of guitars and stuff in the corner behind me, and amps and stuff. But
next to the BMX bike.
Yeah,
our
bikes are piled up behind me. This is our put everything in room.
Storage,
I do here and there with my daughters, but I don't play out or anything like that. it was weird because I used to be super creative with music in the sense of like, I'm not saying I was a great songwriter or nothing, but was always trying to come up with ideas and stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
after being in a band that many years, like that you get paid, you'd be on tour for a month or however long, and you come home and I would just put my guitar away and not even want to touch it until we
I could
leave again in
imagine.
like a
Yeah.
month or two. Anytime something becomes a job, it's easy to lose the love for it. So I think that kind of stole that from you a
I
little
see
bit,
what you're saying. Yeah. I can
Yeah, it's,
imagine.
and it's just, and other stuff, having kids, I had kids later in life. So I've got a 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. So, that's my priority now. And
Yeah.
we're just having fun and enjoying that. So,
Did you say
we
a
pull the guitars out.
3-year-old? You have an 8 and
Yeah.
oh wow, you are busy.
Yeah. Yeah. Very busy. My 3-year-old just raced her first state race this past weekend, actually
Oh, how
on balance bike.
fun.
It was
Dad
cool. It was
mode is
really
a
cool to
real
watch her.
thing, huh?
Hmm.
Holy cow. Okay.
Yeah.
What was the
So
name of the energy drink?
it was called DNA Energy Drink.
Okay.
It was big. It was
Never
really
mind.
big in Florida, or when I say really, it wasn't monster big, obviously, but we were doing well. And
DNA.
what actually killed us, we went public, and the whole market crashed in, like, was it 2009 or 10, when the economy just tanked and everything happened. It caused a lot of problems being a public company, with shareholders, and there was just a lot of the stock stuff kind of it was a hard time. We did well, and then we hit that, and it started having some stumbles, and we sponsored some supercross teams and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And um yeah, I think, and some of our investors started pushing to open up areas that our goal in the beginning was to get Florida as big as we could, and hopefully somebody comes and buys it.
Sure.
And back then, like, Monster they were known to, like, buy up brands to get market space back. To them, buying a brand for $30 million or something was like a joke. They would do that. Yeah, that's it there. And we were hoping that would happen, and it didn't happen. There were some talks here and there, but it never really happened. And then some of the investors were like, "Hey, you should open up here and open up there," and it kind of spread us too thin.
Oh.
And just stuff started happening.
Yeah.
And yeah, that was
the start of the end, huh?
yeah. And I ended up leaving, and I think there's still people that technically maybe are trying to run it or something. I don't even know, but I think 2012, or I think there's 2013 is when I kind of was gone from it.
That's a hella market. I mean, there's a new
It's-
energy drink
it's-
every time I go in the
There
speedway.
is, and like, I feel like we were right on the cusp of it, because we were doing pretty well with it for a while, and we kept it. We did the whole grassroots thing. Like, we didn't have the money to compete, and all we did was kind of, our whole mindset was like, obviously you're not touching Red Bull and Monster. They were fighting each other. Like, even the stories of the stuff they did to each other is crazy. But we knew we were making an impact when the Monster guys, like, it's the truck guys out in the field, the distributor guys are crazy. Like, if you're, like, taking away their shelf space, they were punching holes in our cans and all kinds. Like, it's like full guerrilla warfare in the energy world. I'm sure. I think the beer world is the same.
Beer
way,
world
but,
is, yep, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I learned, it was like, I'd never been exposed to the beverage industry. I was like an action sports guy. And when I started, like, learning about that, I was like, wow, this is insane. Like, there was, like, pretty crazy stuff. But
oh my goodness.
our thing was like grassroots, and we try to just be like almost like the working class energy drink, if you will, like the people that just aren't, maybe, the athletes that just aren't good enough to be on those companies, and just try to embrace more of the hometown people and focus there, instead of, we're never going to compete with the big guys, with money and stuff like that. So we used to laugh, because we were like, we're the farm team for Red Bull and Monster, because we would find an athlete and we'd sponsor them for a year or two, and then all of a sudden they'd be like, "Hey, Monster just offered me 15 grand a year," and we're like, "Take it, man. You should take it. It's your career, But
away you go.
Yeah, away you go. And but that was fine. We knew that was going to happen. So it was a good run, though. I learned a lot about another industry and a lot about business. I'd never been involved with a public company before and stuff, so it's pretty cool to learn all that. But yeah, it was just another catalyst to take me to the next stop, I guess.
Now, you mentioned that you worked for Fox Racing. Was that?
I was doing that at the same time.
Okay, so were you just in the surfing division? Were you hands
yeah,
in other
mostly
areas?
surf.
Okay.
Yeah, they did a little bit they pushed a little bit, like almost a little underground thing with some skaters, and they were sponsoring some ramp skaters and stuff that I was involved with. But surf was my thing. It was cool though, because a lot of the sports crossed over. So, like, we would do athlete tours in Florida, and they'd bring the bus, and it'd be like, I'd have like 2 or 3 surf guys, and have like a Carey Hart or a
Yeah.
from freestyle motocross, Dave
Sure.
Mira. Like I got to do a lot of cool stuff with a lot of those people because the company was so entrenched in those sports.
Oh, that's
So even though I
amazing.
was the surf guy, like there was a lot of cool things that crossed over, and I met a lot of cool people that were in other sports and stuff like that. So, obviously that brand has a huge history behind it.
Oh yeah. So
So
with your experience and kind of the being behind the scenes, what do you have? What do you think is something that maybe like us on this side of the street, us fans, realize about the industry? Like, what's a little quirky, weird thing?
well, I don't know if I'm following you.
How do I want to ask this?
I want to make sure I understand.
Something that we wouldn't, as fans, we wouldn't necessarily know happens
Uh,
behind the scenes, I guess is what I'm kind of
that
getting at.
that a team manager is a glorified babysitter.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Right. Exactly. Something along that line. Yeah.
That would be a good. I mean, I've had some pretty crazy, like there's one person in particular that I don't even want to say the sport, but to the public they seem like the most fun person to be around, and
Yeah.
they make people laugh, but dealing with them on a business end, complete nightmare. Like just
That's
like,
interesting.
hey, we're going to a signing, can you put a company shirt on? Oh, this is BS, call my agent. Like just
What?
doesn't show up. Yeah, doesn't show up to signings. That like just all kinds of like
God.
there was
Yep.
one guy that we would do the bus call an hour and a half before. Like if we had to leave at 11, we would tell him it was like 9:30 or 10 to make sure he got there an hour late. You know what I mean? Wouldn't answer his hotel. It just, yeah, it was, yeah,
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at. Thank you for
yeah.
for
No,
clarifying. But yeah.
it's funny because like, and then, playing in a band and, some of the tours we had managers with, like when we went to Australia and stuff. And I was so easy on those guys because I'm like, I understand their pain.
Right.
And they're, you know what I mean? Like I've been on the other side of that where,
I don't want to be the prima
I'm like,
donna.
yeah, my boss is like, Fox, like, where the hell are these guys? You know what I mean? And I'm like trying to round up a bunch of, supposedly men that
Right, right, right.
are, yeah, that's probably, I mean,
Glorified babysitter.
but there's a lot of responsibility on that end too, because you're kind of like the glue that kind of keeps it going. And you can have a group of guys that are super easy and fun,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can have the super jaded ones that just have been spoon fed their whole lives. And, that's just how they operate. I've seen them both. And it's surprising because sometimes the ones that seem like the bad boys are actually the really easy ones to deal with. And sometimes, you know, sometimes the other ones are the ones that seem fun aren't, so
Yeah, we can't judge a book by their cover, kind of thing.
no. I've been surprised quite a few times
Yeah,
with,
I bet.
looking forward to working with somebody and then you're like, this guy's a nightmare, like he's just whatever. So
Huh.
yep.
Where did you fit in the part of the social media work for AMA? The
So
Supercross?
that was actually through a company that got the contract for it. That was just through a friend, basically through a friend. So I'd already been involved with Supercross for the energy drink. We'd sponsored
Right.
Star Racing for 2 years, and then there was a Jeff Ward Racing for 2 years. They did it. And they had Josh Grant and Kyle Chisholm. So then we went from Star and I was involved with them. And right when that all kind of came to an end, I already had been traveling and stuff. And somebody I knew was like, hey, that was when Twitter was like the thing,
Mm-hmm.
Twitter was kind of blowing up and they were like, and so this marketing company had the contract with Speed Television. And basically my job was to fly to all the races. And during the daytime, I would go with a photographer and one of the reporters, like I think back then it was Erin Normoyle. She was one of the girls that did like the pit stuff. And I would just cruise around with them and the photographer would take a picture and I'd tweet it. And then during the race, I was the live Twitter feed for the race. The funny thing is because there was a delay, I had to watch the race from a TV screen because if I was watching it in person from the box, I would have been like 30 seconds ahead of the race.
Ah, okay.
So yeah, I was basically the Twitter guy and I did that. They paid me a lot of money to like do 4 posts a week out of my house. And then Friday I'd fly the race and come home Sunday night, or I'd fly Saturday morning sometimes. And it was cool though, because it was a side I'd never seen. I'd already been doing the Supercross circuit for a couple of years. So a lot of the races, and I was with the TV production people. So like I'd be in all the meetings for all the hosts and all the talking points for the day and all that. I was a fly on the wall. I was just, very small part of that, but it was cool to see the production side and there's a lot of work that goes into,
Mm-hmm.
into that stuff. Back
Oh
then it was
yeah.
Carmichael Carmichael was hosting. He was one of the commentators, and then who's the other one? Was it Jason Wigan maybe? But I got to sit on a lot of meetings with them, and those guys put a lot of work into like they do their homework before the races. It's not like them just people think they just go up there and just
Yeah.
talk.
Start
They have a
talking.
lot. Yeah, they have a lot of points on Saturday morning. We would all meet before everything started, and they would just go through everything and kind of give me a plan of what, there's like during the week you try to find like my job was to like, who got into a fight last week.
Yeah.
And then what do you guys think about,
Hype it up.
blah, 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 blah. Yeah. And hype it up and stuff like that. So there was always that kind of stuff. So but it was, the contract only lasted, they lost the contract after, I want to say like probably about halfway into the season. It actually worked out pretty good because it started in January, obviously. And Guttermouth had a tour in like the end of March.
Oh, well, there you go.
And I didn't tell anybody. I didn't tell either one. I was just kind of like juggling
We'll see
this
how
whole,
this
like,
rides out.
yeah, I'm like, and then in like, I want to say the end of February, they're like, hey, Speed Television is now going to do everything in house. So after this race, we're done. And it was like a week before the tour started.
Gosh.
So
You're like,
I just did that for
okay.
a very short time and then just picked it up. You know what I mean? Like just opportunity, and it
Wow.
was easy come, easy go. But they paid pretty good money to do like a minimal amount of work, But the travel's tough because Friday, Sunday, you're flying, so it's not easy. But
you definitely sound like you have lived several lifetimes.
Heck yeah.
It's funny because a friend of mine I was doing my resume for some stuff, and he told me to take some stuff out. He's like, it's not even really believable, but it's because I've juggled two things, because like the Fox job I could do with the energy drink. I just juggled both because I was working remote, except for traveling. So I didn't have to be at an office every day. It wouldn't be possible, but he's like, yeah, eliminate some of this stuff because it looks like you're lying, but I can prove everything to that.
But, you're like, I really did all this.
But that's the nature. I mean, even in the action sports world, like when I was doing it, like you might have a guy that's like the team manager for DC Shoes, and he's also the team manager for, Electric Eyewear. Like there was usually the team managers in the action sports industry, unless they're in a really, really good role, like Red Bull or something, where they're just like making crazy money.
Yeah.
You got to work for 2 or 3 companies simultaneously to pay the bills, if you will. And usually one company will handle most of it. And then you're making, an eyewear company might pay you $1,000 a month just to kind of make sure guys have their sunglasses, but you don't ever have to go anywhere. You're just kind of like mailing them out and stuff like that. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah. But it's cool. I mean, it's not like that anymore. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Like that whole industry has collapsed after COVID. I think COVID made in the surf industry, I can speak, and I'm sure it's different. It's the same with others, but it made them realize they don't need to have as many athletes as they have. And they were super top heavy with staff.
Yeah.
And COVID, they clipped so many athletes, and all of a sudden the sales were the same or more, and they never replaced them. You know what I mean? I know a lot of surf guys got cut from some huge sponsorship deals during COVID, and the companies are making the same return or even more now, and they never replaced it. So I think COVID changed a lot of that world with, like money. They were in the early 2000s, like they were shelling out money. It was crazy, the contracts they were giving to athletes, like surf guys and stuff like that. It was nuts. And then it all changed. So
were you, so you weren't a nurse at that point in time?
No. I went to nursing school. I finished like 3 years ago.
Okay.
Or so.
I was going to say that.
Yeah. So I've been
healthcare changed a lot.
Oh yeah.
Post
yeah,
that
sure.
too.
And it's funny because all the years I was always, on, phone calls constantly, all that stuff. And I just wanted a job that I could, when I leave, so I work 3 12-hour shifts a week.
Yeah. And
they're pretty good about my schedule. As long as I give them a lead out a couple months ahead, I can go to races and all that stuff. So it's easy. I mean, it's the work is very hard, but it's easy because I don't take anything home with me. When I'm home, I'm full focus on us, and not work. So it's good.
I happen to be an occupational therapist.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And in acute care. So the same thing. I can relate.
But it's the same thing. Like you work hard, but when you're gone, you're gone.
Yep. When I'm gone, I'm gone. Those patients stay there and I go home.
Yep. And that's the action sports world that I did before. It wasn't like that. It was the phone was ringing 24/7.
Yeah, that would be hard.
Out with your wife, the phone's ringing, you got to get it because people in California are on different time zones and stuff. So
I've never experienced anything like that.
Yeah, it was good, but I'm glad it's gone. If that makes sense. Very happy that I have the life I have now. So
especially with an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old.
Yeah, they keep me busy. They definitely like to go. So
I bet.
Yeah, no, it's awesome now.
And So he's done all of what we talked about, and the thing he hasn't talked about yet is he also dabbles in Brazilian jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, that's my that's my bread and butter, like keeping me in shape for years. Like that's
That's
my
your
love.
secret weapon or what?
I don't know if it's my secret weapon, but it's definitely something I've done. I've done it for a long time, and it's just been my staple for a long time.
Now,
It's like it keeps me grounded and
do
all
you
that stuff. So
compete or
I
just
have before, but
okay?
I don't really have time because there's a lot involved with competing, and usually
Yeah.
you have to cut weight and all that stuff. And having kids in my house isn't good for cutting weight
Yeah,
because
no, they're
the
watching.
food that's around is too easy to eat. But I have before, but I don't. It's weird. I'm a very competitive person by nature, but I never. I just I don't know. I did it a bunch, but I never really got
Yeah.
super into the competition thing. Like BMX, I love competing and
Yeah.
I'll race every week or whatever. But with that, there's just a lot more. It's more nerve wracking too. It's funny because sometimes like in my own head, sometimes I'll be at a gate at a bigger race and I'm like nervous, like everybody is. And then I'm like, this is nothing compared to getting ready to fight somebody in a tournament. You know what I mean? I'm like, stop being a
You're
wuss,
like,
man. Like
yeah,
this
suck
is
it
like not a
up.
big deal. You're racing, and it does settle my nerves because that's super nerve wracking when somebody wants to choke you out or something in a tournament, or a comp. So it's kind of funny in my head the scenarios that I play out, you know, like you know.
So
So,
has that been
but
something you've done your like adult life?
I've done
That's
it for
your
probably 12 years or
okay.
more, maybe now. I mean, when I was it was hard. I did it probably longer, but when I was in the band, it was like
Oh, I bet.
sporadic. We'd be gone
Mhm.
for a month, and I'd come home and train. But now I'm on a pretty. BMX has definitely taken away my jiu-jitsu time for sure.
What, you
But
don't train the same for that?
I mean, as far as like, I got to be careful because I have a family, so I can't be like
Right.
every morning I'm gone and every night I'm going BMX, and so
Yeah,
I try to
yeah.
juggle. I went this morning and trained this morning, but I do like they have 8 a.m., so I do that. But yeah, that's kind of like my thing that I don't even, it's funny because I don't even really want to be competitive with it in that sense
Yeah.
because I know when you start competing, sometimes like we were talking about before with the music, it can take away,
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
and that is something that just keeps me grounded. It keeps my mental health good. Like I
Yeah.
don't always look forward to going to it. I'm not gonna lie. Like sometimes I'm going there
Oh,
like I don't feel like doing this.
yeah.
But when I leave, I always tell my wife it's how I feel afterwards is
Mhm.
Yeah.
it's like when you do a race, you no matter how you do in a race, you usually leave once you cool down feeling pretty good and that stuff. So
Absolutely. Wow.
yeah.
That's yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's hard being older. There's a lot of young guys coming up, but it's funny though, because sometimes I've had guys like, what do you do to stay in shape for BMX? And I'm like, jiu-jitsu, I guess. I don't know. It's a lot harder than BMX, I'll tell you that.
Right. You are a jack of all trade, that is for sure.
No,
Yeah.
I've just always been one of those people that if something interests me,
Yeah, you dive in.
I want to experience it. Even if I suck at it, I don't care.
Yeah.
Some people, and there's been times in my life where I've let stuff when I was younger, let stuff hold me back because of fear of failing.
Mm-hmm.
And as I got older, I realized like you're just blowing it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I give credit the guys that start racing at 50 years old. Sometimes you see on the Facebook pages, the guy's 59 years old. And he's like thinking about BMX, and like I give all the credit to those guys over anybody because that's balls to do, or girls. It doesn't
Right.
matter which sex. But I remember seeing Miss Kitty at Grands, and that to me, that's the heroes of the sport. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like people
She's
that are those ages that are doing that stuff.
she's amazing.
They just did that video of he was at Connor Fields interviewed him, 75,
I saw that. Yep.
and it like he's 75 still racing, and we've got a friend of ours does the national circuit, and you forget because Dennis has done it so long.
Mm-hmm.
So Dennis Yabera goes by Yogi. He's 72. This guy's reminds me like you remind me a little bit of him. It's like he goes nonstop like yourself. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dennis will work second shift, get out and go work on the track, take a nap,
Yeah.
then get up and race, then go to work.
Well,
Like
I'm
you're
sure
a
he
machine,
naps.
bro. It's like
No, but I think that's the key though, is like a friend of mine is a
Yep.
physical therapist, and he always says motion is lotion,
Motion is
when you get older.
lotion. That's our
And
favorite.
that's his thing that he goes by. And I'm a firm believer in that because I have a lot of friends my age that don't do
Oh,
stuff
baby.
anymore. And, and it's like, you try to encourage them, but probably because I have kids, younger kids, I
Yeah.
have that urgency to like,
Yep.
I want to keep up with them. I don't want them to
Absolutely.
be like, oh, my dad was, not a part of my life or whatever. So I just try to stay busy, but my 8-year-old keeps me going with the BMX. Like
Well,
she's
that'd
on
be
it.
a
So
very natural motivator. You wouldn't even really
yeah.
have to concentrate on it. And just I
Yeah. And
gotta.
even going to the track with her early on, I'm like, I can either sit here and hang
Mm-hmm.
out or, ride my bike. Like I said, I never really intended to race, but I just wanted to be on the bike and have fun. So
I think it's even better that she encouraged you to do it.
isn't that funny? I know it's the
You have
opposite.
my permission, Daddy. Get on your bike. Let's
Yeah.
go.
No, she's given me some pep talks before and stuff.
Oh,
I've
I
had a couple
bet.
moments that I'm pretty collected for the most part, but
Yeah.
I've had a few like mini like frustration moments, and she feeds me my own words to her,
Uh
and I'm like, I'm such a clown. You know what I mean? Like,
She
I need to live
sounds
by
like
my
a
own words
little
sometimes.
tiger, I'm telling you.
No, she's awesome. She's a good motivator for sure. And it's funny because we have the Cape Coral National this weekend, the Sunshine State National.
Yeah.
And I took off work Friday, Saturday, Sunday because it starts on Friday. And my job scheduled me for Friday, so I was trying to get somebody to cover. I can't get anybody to cover. So now if we go, we were just talking about before we talked to you guys, I get off work at like 9 or 10 Friday night. We would have to leave here. It's a 4-hour drive and drive to like 3 a.m. and sleep for like 3 hours. And we've never ridden Cape Coral. So then we got to get up for the practice
Oh, yeah.
and try to get used to the track. And I'm like, I'm on the fence with even doing it at this point because it's going to be a lot.
Oh,
And
I don't
Justin, it's
blame
going to be
you.
like 40 degrees here, so it's
Yeah,
kind of
so
worried
it's
about the cold and
freezing.
stuff.
Absolutely
Yeah.
freezing.
But I told her I'm like, you might only get like 2 or 3 hours. She'll get sleep, but I won't. So I'm kind of on the fence with even going at this point. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, that's a bummer that you weren't
So
able to get coverage because that's
I think
certainly
it was
one of
my
our
fault. I think
favorite tracks.
yeah, and it's funny because when I went to Naples for the state race last week, we go right by Cape Coral, as you guys know.
Mm-hmm.
And Thursday night they're supposed to have a practice at Cape Coral, so I went a day early to Naples to practice. And like 2 hours before we got there, they're like, "Hey, we're canceling practice." They worked on the track and it
Oh,
wasn't
I
ready.
saw
So like
that.
my whole
Yeah.
little master plan of practicing last week
Yeah.
to make this work didn't work out.
Oh,
So
yeah, that would have given you a little track
yeah,
exposure.
yeah, but whatever. It's more of just I'm just more of can I handle working for 12 hours at that pace in the emergency department and then driving for 4 hours or whatever. But I don't know.
I could
I
not, but
still think it's
kudos to you.
better. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. So
Oh, well, I guess, yeah, if she doesn't seem like she's that disappointed, then I could see why you would
yeah.
hesitate.
Well, she's kind of like, oh, whatever. And then tonight she's like, I think we should do it. I'm like,
Oh,
oh, great.
Ooh.
I kind of have my mind made up, and then she threw
yeah,
the wrench at me
she
tonight. So
flipped it on you.
yeah. So I don't
Such
know.
a
And
little
Friday
firecracker.
was the world's qualifier too.
Mm-hmm.
For World. So that was the plan. We were going to go to that, and I doubt we would even go, but we were going to try to qualify just to see and kind of
Yeah,
just go from there.
challenge.
But yeah, but it is what it is. It's not in the plan, I guess. So
That is how it goes.
yeah.
Sneak put
Yeah.
this in. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna jump over and do our trivia segment. So, with our trivia segment, Melissa's got a question, and it's something you said earlier, so don't answer it,
Okay.
but
Gotcha.
you will. And yeah, so we're gonna do our trivia segment, and it's brought to you by our good friends over at Krupp and Carter. Said at the beginning of the show, make sure you guys get over, check them out, get over to their website. They got a lot of new stuff they're dropping. Another Florida brand right there. They were hanging out at the New Year's Bash up there at Acre, and wouldn't be surprised if they're at Cape Coral this weekend.
I'm sure.
Yeah, it's always a good time to see them. And what do we got going on here?
I keep.
Ooh, we got the double bag.
I know, right?
Speaking of Cape Coral, look
Yeah,
at
I
that
was gonna
segue.
So I'm going to start with that there. There's your souvenir Bangin' Bars backpack. We had a good time down there for that. And then, of course, you got your Motor City Harley Davidson. I don't know. What do you call these backpacks? I don't know.
Yeah.
Sacks? I don't know.
From now on, they're going to be called that.
Of course, you got your shades and your beverage koozie coming to you. Huge sticker pack. All sorts of fun stuff in there. And then in honor of the freezing weather that we are having, I'm slipping in a little ghetto wear punk beanie here. So,
Well, that would be needed this weekend in Florida.
oh, well, yeah. I guess by the time I get it to whoever, it probably
Wear my
won't be
flip flops
needed.
with my beanie.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so we've kind of been talking a whole bunch about little Miss Iris, and she's inspiring me. So I made my question about her. So Jeff, don't answer this, but I would like to know in the chat, guys, what, I got to go back to my question. How did I word it? What age group does Jeff's daughter Iris currently race? So what age group
Oh,
does,
good question.
does Jeff's daughter Iris currently race in?
Yeah.
So first one in the chat will get a prize pack eventually.
And it's wild. It's just a matter of getting the time to take them all up and mail them out.
Yeah.
And
We'll get it eventually.
You guys will be snowed in too, right? So
oh
Yeah.
man, I'm afraid.
My
of
daughter's like, could you let me know if we don't have school?
There's no way.
tomorrow? And I was like, you're going to have school. It's fine.
I can tell you right now, there's no way.
Oh, I think because it stopped snowing. They're going to get on top
No
of
way.
it. I bet they do.
When I left, there was at least 8 to 9 inches on the ground.
No.
wow, really?
Yeah, at the property there was. Yes, there was.
Oh, well, but that's
Wow.
not, we're up here.
Yeah, there's no way. Yeah, well, while we're looking for an answer real quick, I want to let you guys know who's coming on next week.
Oh, yes. Oh, such the young gentleman. Mr. Marshall Gerke will be joining us next week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're looking forward to talking with him. We kind of stalked him for a little while, and then at the Bangin' Bars,
yeah.
Justin
He was
had
parked-
struck up a conversation with him
He
and
was-
was like, "Hey,
He's parked next to us. It made it easy.
yeah, it's time for you to come on the show."
Yeah.
He was not. It was easy to convince him, so it'll be fun talking, kind of getting his side of things.
Well, man, he did the Acre event, and then we talked, Bangin' Bar series. And
I want you to ask him about the what motivates him to ride backwards on every track.
social media.
Well, that's your answer, but is that his answer?
Monetize social media.
When he did it,
challenge.
where were we at? Oh,
All of
Sarasota.
them.
He did it twice. Sarasota, he had to do it twice
Dude, that's fucking
down that
crazy.
hill, crazy hill, because it didn't film right the first time.
I couldn't watch him, Jeff, ride down the starting hill backwards at Sarasota. Like, I was just like, no, I
Oh,
can't.
it was sickening. Ugh.
You talking about on the handlebars, right? Like we
Yeah,
see them, like,
Yeah, he sits on the
Yeah.
handlebars and pedals
I
backwards,
saw.
presumably.
I don't know if it was him, but I saw somebody do it. But I've done that for my daughter in the street, but it's like on the street. But then when I saw them doing it like down the hill and over the jumps, I was like, yeah, it's. And with my luck, that's how I'll break my arm.
Yeah,
doing
right,
something
well,
stupid
oh,
like
yeah.
that.
That would be my luck for sure.
Yeah.
That's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I've seen him around though. I don't know him, but I've seen him at races and stuff like that.
Yeah.
He
What's his nickname? Does he have a nickname?
yeah. Now I just oh my god, just totally blanked on it. Yep. It'll come to me in a minute. He rides with the guys on he does the Nitro Circus too.
Oh yeah.
So like I'll be watching him ride and I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that booter at the Nitro Circus is like as long as his whole straight. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're crazy.
Yeah. So if you guys get your answers in there, want to know what class Iris races. Did you get a winner yet?
I did.
Oh,
Actually, yeah,
shit.
she came in hot. Okay, so what does she race? Jeff?
You want me to answer?
Yes,
She
please.
currently races 8 intermediate.
8 intermediate. That's right. And Miss Holly Dunn was the first one in the chat with the correct answer.
Like, she was right on it.
Yeah. Shout out to Stu Kelly. He was close. He said 8 girls. And Jason Chang also got it, but Holly was in there first. So.
Thunder Midget brings in Major.
Oh,
Marshall's
that's his
nickname.
nickname?
Yeah,
The Major or Major?
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Well, I'm curious to hear how he. Holly says, I'm always coming in hot. I'm curious to hear how he got that nickname.
She picked Face to Face as her favorite punk band, which is like my second favorite
yeah.
band.
So they would be in my. I would say they would be in my top
Your top.
3 or 4
Okay.
probably. Yeah, we played a bunch of shows with them in the past, and they're one of those
Damn.
bands that if we play with them, I just want to watch them play. You know what I mean? I don't do that for a lot of bands, but they're one of those ones that like every time I'll watch them every time. So
Nice.
The one
yeah,
time I
they're a
was
great band.
gonna get to go see them, I got sick as shit.
Mm.
And it's like, someday, never day. Yep.
So
I've actually
what's
got a random. I was going to say I have a random story talking about like
yeah,
the
please.
band stuff. It just reminded me, and it's actually in your neck of the woods. We talked about is it
Hamtramck.
Hamatrack?
Hamtramck.
Hamtramck, sorry. So we were on tour with a band called Agent Orange, which is a very
Oh yeah.
legendary skate punk band,
Oh yeah.
and we played a place in Hamtramck, and they played before us, and we were on stage, and in between one of the songs, the drummer Dave is a good buddy of mine, and he pulls me. He like kind of comes outside. He's like, "We just got robbed," and I start laughing. We're drinking, whatever. They did. They were loading their gear out, and somebody held them up at gunpoint and stole their iPhones. And it just because
Oh
you guys are
my
in
god.
Alvin or whatever, it just reminded me of that. And we thought they were joking the whole time, and then when we saw the cops, we're like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And we got done playing, and yeah, it was
You're
like
like,
it
oh
was
no,
like a real
really?
Detroit experience. So
Oh my god. Yeah, you got the
yeah,
full
yeah, the full deal. But
uh
luckily, nobody was hurt or nothing like
oh
that,
my
and
well
they just
true.
took their iPhones. And then the funny thing is, the next day, whoever took their phones turned the phones on, and the
Ding
cops
ding
apparently,
ding.
yeah,
Oh, there they
whoever did it
are.
wasn't very good. Yeah, so they got the phones back and stuff. But yeah,
Oh
it
my
was
goodness.
just random. I don't know why I thought of that, but I just laughing about
That's
stuff.
great. So just kind of as a wrap up, what's the goal for 2026?
Um,
What'd you set for yourself?
for racing or
Yeah,
just
sure.
um, stay off the ground is probably the number one goal. No, I don't know. I don't. You know what? I'm I'm getting further along. Like, right, obviously racing a lot better people. So I don't even know if I have goals. I just want to do the best I can do. I don't.
Awesome.
I've been very lucky this in. I've been very, very lucky. I feel like the first year of my racing with some of the stuff that I've been able to do.
Yeah.
So I don't I don't foresee like repeats. I'm not stupid like, oh, I'm going to repeat. There's just so many fast people out there, and everything worked in my favor that one day or whatever,
Right.
and at the Gold Cup. But I don't know. I don't really have a set goal. I just do the best I can. We try to ride as much as we can and stuff. But
That's great.
you know, at the end of the day, I still have young kids, so racing's not my. A couple of guys I race with, their kids are out of the house, so they're all in
Yeah.
with that. But I can't do that,
No.
So,
You still have to go to
but I'd like
work.
to. I guess goals. I'd like to go back to grands if we can swing it, and do some nationals and stuff like that. Would probably be
Nice.
the goals. It's more about her. I just want to
Yeah.
facilitate what she wants to do. So
And what age class are you racing again?
51 to 55 intermediate
Okay,
is my group.
intermediate. All right. All right.
Yeah.
Are we close to expert?
Well, locals, no, because I end up racing the experts a lot, but I think you win 5 majors, right? That ends up putting you an
I think
expert.
so.
So,
Yeah, something like that.
so in intermediate, I won the Gold Cup championship race both days. So that's 2, and then I won rock. So I think I'm 3.
Oh,
So
you're not too far
like
off.
if no, and that stuff, if I race nationals and stuff and have a good run, then it could be sooner than later. But I don't feel like I'm ready to go there yet.
Yeah.
I will if I do.
You're
Whatever.
okay.
But I'm
Cruising
like,
along.
I'd like to get a little more experience before I'm racing Paulo and Renato and those guys, because I'll never be
Yeah,
as fast as
fair.
them ever. But
In
no,
the
no,
official capacity, that makes sense.
no. I just enjoy racing, to be honest with you. Like, of course, I want to win like everybody, but I'm just kind of, I'm just, I've. It's funny because I remember being a kid that year that I raced or whatever, seeing like, was it BMX Plus? I think it was a magazine or something, and like seeing Worlds and all
Sure.
those races, and my parents would
Hmm.
never take me. They were like, no, we're not doing that.
Mm,
And then now as an adult, it like the little kid in me, like we were at Grands and the state races, and like the little kid in me is like just happy to be there. You know what I mean? To
Hmm.
fulfill that thing that I never got to. It sounds kind of corny, but
no, not at all.
and watching my daughter race that stuff is really cool.
Yeah,
Like
that's
I didn't think she would. I shouldn't say I didn't think she would stick with it. I just didn't know if she would even like it. And she's all in. You know what I mean? So it's very rewarding to watch her progress and all that stuff. So
I got a
yep.
question out of the coming
mm-hmm.
in from our friend Stu Kelly down in Australia. He wanted to know if you have a favorite Aussie punk band.
Let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the ones. I mean, Frenzal Rom they're legendary. Like we've played with them before. There's a lot of good local bands down there. Like I've done a bunch of tours down there. What part of Australia is he in?
Uh, uh,
Yep.
Victoria,
Victoria.
right?
Or was it Melbourne?
Wait, where?
Or was it Melbourne? I can't remember.
No, Victoria.
Melbourne.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Victoria.
The southeast side. Yeah, Victoria. Yeah.
Like New South Wales or something down
Yeah.
there. Yeah. Probably. I mean, Frenzal Rom is probably the best one, but there's a lot of good local bands there. Trying to think of some of the ones we played with down there. I can't remember them. Yeah, it's been a while. I'm old. But honestly, Australia is probably my favorite place that I've ever toured. Like we've done a few tours there, and when you say he's from Australia, there's a really notorious Guttermouth show at down there that went really, really bad. And when you're like,
Oh
we have somebody
no.
from Australia, I just was like cringing. I'm like, oh, here we go. Our
He's from
singer was so
Melbourne.
okay. We've actually Melbourne. We played is it Bendigo Hotel? I think we played the Bendigo. We played a bunch of places in Melbourne, but we actually would stay in Melbourne would be kind of home base a lot because we had friends there.
Okay.
It's kind of like Gotham City is what I think people call it down here, but it's always like kind of rainy and drizzly. But yeah, we had a show in a place called Fern Tree Gully where our singer was pretty much unable to play but
Oh,
tried,
okay.
and it went really bad. And we had like two shows later on the tour canceled because of that show. And
Oh my
they
gosh.
they say no press is bad press, or any press is good press, whatever. But it made a lot of news sources down there, so it actually helped the tour in the big picture. But it's funny because there was a professional photographer there from some magazine, and the pictures are just, I mean, bad. Our one one of our we were in this like camper bus thing for the tour, and we had a long drive that day from I don't even remember where we were, but our tour manager thought it'd be fun to like buy a bunch of alcohol at 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and day drink.
Oh.
And everybody pretty much day drank the whole day. So we get to this place, and we played with two guitar players. Our other guitar player was pretty bad, and our singer was pretty bad. And all of a sudden the tour manager's like, we got to get him ready. And I'm like, there's no getting him ready, man. It's done. Like
There's no amount of coffee.
Like, man, you got to put him in the shower and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you can put him in the shower, but he's still going to be drunk. So he puts him in the shower, and Mark, our singer, comes walking out of the shower, and he looks at me. He's like, how did we do tonight, Geoff? And I'm like,
oh no.
And I was like, and then the next day, this magazine, I can't remember the name of the magazine, but it's one of the music ones down there. And, there was pictures, and our tour manager is on the side of the stage, like just has the look of fear because he knows what's going to happen afterwards. And it was one of those
He said,
ones.
Frenzal?
Frenzel Rom. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is
That's
there?
crazy. Yeah. Okay. And
But
then
yeah, this
Body Jar?
that show was at Body Jar. Yep. Yeah. Trying to think. There's a lot of good local bands down there. Australia kind of reminds me of how the punk scene was in the US, like in the 90s, where it was like people were just really happy. Like I think US people get jaded because there's so many bands on tour traveling through, where the Australians, and what we would do is like a lot of No Effects will go to Australia and they'll play 4 shows. They'll play Melbourne, Sydney, maybe Brisbane, or they just do 4 stops, where we would spend a month down there and just hit all these like nooks and crannies. Like we would play, all these little towns and stuff, and just kind of do the opposite of what the bigger bands would do. And it just creates a huge following, but we're playing to, 300-400 people a night instead of a huge group, and sometimes bigger, whatever, but it just makes it that much more personable. So, every night they would do contests like for the opening band. So we played with tons of bands down there, and they're all super cool. Like the scene down there was that's my favorite place that I've ever toured, just because the fans are so enthusiastic that we're there,
Nice.
Good
That's
people
cool.
and stuff. So
one day, maybe we'll get down there.
Worlds.
I was gonna say I got the Worlds coming up, but
yeah, it probably wouldn't be BMX related.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to my wife about going to that for Worlds, and I'm like, it's monetarily, it's not going to be doable for us probably, but not for the family and stuff. But yeah, but it'd be cool to have a reason to go, because it's hard to go just make a trip. So
it's that like fun. 20. What is it? 20 some hours.
24 hours. Flight, yeah.
From California, it's about 14 to 16 hours direct.
Yeah, but it still takes us 6 hours to get to California.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. It's like 5 hours to get to California. Direct. Yeah, it's a journey. And then it's crazy is Western Australia doesn't look that big, but from the east coast of Australia to the west coast is like a 5-hour flight as well.
Yeah.
So like we would finish our tours in Perth, which is Western Australia, and fly 5 hours to the east coast, then 16 hours. And the guys I played in the band with all live in California, so they're done, and I'm jumping on another 5-hour. I'd come home and sleep for like 2 or 3 days.
Oh my
and
God,
not want to do anything.
The
just
jet lag
horrible jet lag. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, but yeah, it was good times.
Wow.
So.
Well, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say we're so excited that you were joined us tonight. It's been
thanks
such
for
a
having me. It was
great
awesome.
time. We appreciate you tuning in, and I can't remember who was the gentleman that suggested that we
No,
talked
he's
to
a guy
Geoff.
here. I see him sometimes in Florida. I've seen him a few races. He kind of was like, he's like, have you ever done podcast stuff? Because it was cool BMX one. I'm like, I've done music ones, but I go, nobody
Yeah.
wants me for a BMX
Oh,
podcast,
but we
I guess.
do.
But but I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
but you guys have a cool show. I know the one guy that I raced at Grands, he was on your show and I listened to that episode, ironically, before Grands. I didn't know he was in my class. He's got the gear company. What's his name? Brad,
Oh, Brad Otto.
the California, what, Southern California Brad or
Yeah,
SoCal Brad? Yeah.
SoCal Brad.
Yeah. So he was, and I only chatted with him briefly at Grands. We were friendly with each other,
Yeah.
but I listened to the show that he was on before that. So talk about
Awesome.
his designs and all this stuff, which was really cool.
Yeah, that's great. Well,
It was way back. I can't find it.
yeah,
right now.
yeah.
But it was anyone has referrals or like drop them, like send them to the page, send them to me, send them to Melissa or Chris, because it's like it that's probably the most legwork. It's,
Can be.
you can very easily kind of get into like the same circle, and like when he messaged me, I don't even, I was just like, okay, and then messaged you, and we picked a date and it worked.
He was saying, he was like, there's a lot of BMX people that are into punk rock, and I don't go to, like, probably most of the people that I race with have no idea, you know what I mean, because I don't broadcast the band stuff.
Sure.
But he was like, talking about it and all that stuff, and just like, they might want to hear about stories of bands, stuff, blah, blah. I was like, yeah, go if you know them. I don't know if he knew you or not, but he just kind of was like, I'll bridge the gap or whatever.
Yeah.
So I was like, cool.
Yeah.
And I'm super happy that he did, because the way you guys run your show is awesome. Like, it's fun and relaxed.
Thank you.
And it's weird being live, because I think this is the first pod, or
yeah, that's actually
I've done that's live.
Yeah.
Usually they're edited, and if you say something stupid, they can fix it.
We like the stupid things.
Coming on. I'm like, man, I'm gonna say something stupid, but
good. That's we hope so.
No.
That makes it better.
Hopefully I made it a little bit interesting.
Oh, absolutely, very much so. Yeah, no, thank you for your candor and for sharing your story.
Yeah. It was a great
time. Hopefully we can meet up and race at some point. I know I was going to go down to the thing you went to, the banging bars thing, but it just didn't fit my work schedule. I was bummed I missed that.
Yeah, that was intense.
So
that was a great time.
Yeah.
I mean, anytime we get to Florida's.
Oh, great. Yeah. We're off to California hopefully next.
Oh, really? Yeah, I've never ridden BMX in California. I've lived out there, but I didn't do BMX then. So I'd like to go out there and ride too. The banging bars thing, wasn't there 2 stops that were like a few hours apart on Saturday? Like they were like 2 or 3 hours apart, like Triple Creek or something. And
Triple Creek in Sarasota.
That's got to be pretty grueling to race and then drive. And
it was so. The part that made it hard was for us. We stayed in Cape Coral, and look, it's this way for anyone that does it, because if like Triple Creek's your home track, you're driving for all the other ones likewise around. But we stayed in Cape, so it was up. And then we shot out to Triple Creek, which was an hour and 10 from the place we rented. Then from there,
Sarasota.
That was
Saturday night.
It was a couple hours, or just under 2 hours. I think it was under 2 hours.
We drove more first thing in the morning than we did that afternoon.
So about an hour and a half from there to there. And I can tell you right now, like being on the couch because it's winter, and then being like, we're doing a double header.
Justin put his ass on the track,
for
sure.
Yeah, and then they opened practice early, and I'm like, I get to go ride. And like there was nobody on the track, and I did exactly what you shouldn't do. Went right out there, banging gates, having a blast, and then I'm like, I got nothing.
Burnt,
But I'm like 2 scooping energy, 2 scooping pre-workout. Like I was just short of like chugging it down with powder itself, and I couldn't. Race came around, and man, like then the legs started feeling hollow.
Yeah,
I was like, you did way too much practice. But
that was the shocker at Grands, like racing that many days in a row.
Yes.
Like I don't think I've ever ridden that many days in a row. And we rode. I know you guys got to go. We rode Hardesty on Tuesday night.
Oh yeah.
And everybody was like, "Don't ride there; it's pretty gnarly, and it's not good for Grands." But we were like, "Let's just roll the track."
You're there,
yeah. We wanted to go to the Hall of Fame, so we did that. But we rode Tuesday, Wednesday, the whole through Sunday, and man, I was cooked. It's funny because you race rock, and you're like, "Oh, rock," and then all of a sudden you're like, "Holy shit, I got to ride again tomorrow morning." A whole new race. You know what I mean? And then there's 6 races or 4 or 5 races you got to get
race
through.
And then hurry up and sit around.
God, it was
waiting
by
for the
Sunday.
next one.
I was done.
Yeah.
I was so cooked by the end of that week, but it was awesome, but I was like, definitely,
You're
that was something I
hammered.
didn't anticipate. You know, I didn't realize how many times I'd be riding that week. So yeah,
I mean,
it's brutal.
I didn't do the rock the year we went and was still smoked. And then on our way home, we stopped at Texas at DeSoto.
Yep. Went down Texas.
Sort of like you when you got home, you just kind of set your guitars to the side. My bikes came
Oh,
home,
oh my
and I'm
God.
like, dude,
You just leave it alone for a
yeah.
while.
and we
It
drove,
was.
we drove too. So like,
That was a lot of freaking
oh
driving.
man, it was a great time though. Like so what'd you
I'll
think of
check
the Hall
the
of
other
Fame?
podcast stuff.
It was really cool because there was
I gotta
people on the
get
wall
there.
that I remember as a kid when I
Yeah.
raced, you know, that I looked up to. So it was definitely pretty cool to see some of the jerseys up there and stuff. Here's my little, hey, come here quick.
Oh yeah.
This is Iris.
Who are we saying hi to?
Oh, hi.
Hi, Miss Iris. It's
Here,
so
put-
nice to
here.
meet you.
Put that in your ear. She said it.
I'll say it again too.
What's that?
Yeah, put it in your ear so you can hear real quick. They said nice to meet you. Can you hear them?
Hi, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I'm Melissa and this is Justin.
Hi.
Nice.
He
Thanks.
races too, I don't.
to
But
We're
we
supposed to meet him at the race in December. Remember, we're going to go down to Naples and stuff. We didn't make it,
Yeah.
but Justin was down there.
your dad was bragging about you. He said you've been doing really well and putting your heart out on
I
that
heard
track.
him from Malcolm.
Oh, you
I just took her
did.
training wheels off last week and she's doing great.
Woohoo!
No.
Well, she's got the eye roll down. I love it. Well,
Yeah,
good luck on your season. Keep putting your heart out there. It was nice to meet you. Oh my
Here,
God.
she said nice to meet you.
Oh, thank you. You
You're
too.
welcome. Is
Here,
it
let me see that.
bedtime?
It's all good. Yeah.
Oh,
it
yeah.
is.
We're
think
keeping
I'm
Dad
keeping
from
him.
tucking you in.
No, it's all good. She's kind of a late. She's a night owl, so.
Oh, I hear
But
you.
no, thanks. Yeah, I know she wanted to come say
Oh,
hi to you
she's
guys. So.
adorable. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
she's awesome. It's funny because after Grand's, like literally like the next day, she's like, "Are we practicing tonight?" And I'm like you're talking about like putting your bike away. And my wife's like, "Really? You guys are going riding 2 days later?" You know what I mean? So, but it was up to me, no. But yeah, she was on the track a couple days later.
Still got that
motivated, so.
quick recovery time.
Oh yeah, they don't even need recovery time.
No.
Really don't. Not at that age. Not at all.
Sometimes I'll like do the Epsom salt. She's like, "What's wrong with you? Why are you limping around the house?" I'm like,
Because
that's
Dad
good.
is
"Yeah,
put his heart on the track too.
because Dad is old. Dad is old and tired." No, it's all good.
That's awesome.
But thank you guys so much.
Yeah,
You're
well,
welcome.
you enjoy your evening, and thank you so much. It was nice to meet you and your
Yeah, you
sweet
too.
little Iris.
Yeah, she's
If you can, just hang out a second. We're going to sign
Yeah.
off, and then we'll jump right back in. And again, thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. And
and thanks everybody for watching. I don't
Yeah.
know, how many people watch, but it was really cool to be
great.
part of it. So
And tune in next Wednesday when the guys are going to be talking to the Major, Marshall Gerke. We'll see you guys soon.
Yes. All right. You guys have a good night. Thanks for joining us. And thank you to everyone that shared the event. I appreciate it. We all appreciate it. Yeah. All right. We're going to get out of here, you guys.